Welcome in. Much love. 2015 behind us, 2016 ahead of us, and like any year, it's really useful to look back on the year and make a review, look at the major lessons, look at the highlights, look at the major themes of the year, and importantly, see where we are compared to one full year ago. There's a lot of benefits to this, to really cement the important lessons, to not repeat some of the costly mistakes, and to put the year behind us, to conclude the year, wrap it up, moving on to the next year with a greater purpose. So I encourage you to do something similar. You don't have to make a video and share it, but you will find it helpful to write something like this down of your 2015, have a record of it, put it on the internet, and tomorrow we're going to come back with the 2016 preview, goals, plans, and so on. So for me, 2015 was a hell of a year. Amazing year. The major themes were learning, experimentation, and helpfulness. Different year, the themes are different things. They can be character traits to work on, parts of my life, or things that give me direction or purpose. But this year was really about learning, was about experimenting, was about helping, those three things in particular. I can look at the year from these three different ways. So learning. This was a year very much of learning. I learned by living in different places, living in California, Spain, England, Seattle. I learned by studying 3 months of physics, which I had never done so intensely, and I find that my better understanding of the physical world has really helped me. I took Tai Lopez's 67 Steps mentorship daily habit formation program, which really helped me. I watched every Elon Musk interview ever, and I learned a lot from that. I read over 100 books this year, most books I've ever read in a year, and learned so much from that, studying different perspectives on world history, self-development, psychology. And I took a business mentorship, joined a mastermind group, and I've learned so much compared to a year ago. A year ago I hadn't read 100 books. I hadn't studied physics. I hadn't taken Tai Lopez's 67-step success habit formation program. I didn't even know who Elon Musk was. So my head is a lot more full of raw knowledge than it was 1 year ago, which is great. Number two, moving on to experimentation. 2015 for me was a year of experimentation. I took a lot of experiments. I experimented with my voice, I experimented with money, and I experimented with partnerships in ways that produced costly lessons. However, they set me free. But an important thing is that it's not a mistake if it's a one-off. But some of these things I wouldn't repeat in 2016. And it's important to have this on paper so I can really look at things that I did that I shouldn't do again, that were useful as a one-off thing. However, some of my experimentations I will continue. I will continue to live in different places. I will continue to make changes in my life. I'll continue to make tweaks with my life. Experiments allowed me to stop various bad habits, and experiments allowed me to really improve my diet, putting in new foods, taking out old foods, and really improving my health. And experimentation really has helped with my business, as I've thrown 100 things at the wall and 20 of them have stuck, and I'm going to continue to do that, do a lot of things, constantly refine and pick the things that work the best, but always continuing to experiment. We'll get into the goals for 2016, but I'm going to make some serious adjustments based on my experimentation for 2016, but 2015, yeah, it was a year of experiments. Some of them taught me costly lessons, but all of them helped me learn very important information. Now, we've talked about learning, experimentation. This was also a year of helpfulness, and I really have to credit Elon Musk a lot for this, watching all his interviews. His emphasis on being helpful as a business model as well. So I shifted from, in my business, in Magic the Gathering, of trying to push cards, push card sales, push traffic, to really trying to help people learn more, help people feel better, help people get more out of the game. I started one-on-one coaching. I started growing my own groups. I wrote a really useful and helpful ebook and put it out to a bunch of people. Outside of my business, I've tried to be more helpful socially, started working in gardens, working in farms for food and volunteer, trying to be more helpful in my living situations, help the people around me. So this was really a shift in my thinking, of being more self-oriented to being more others-oriented in everything. what I found this year is that perhaps the best strategy for myself is to help others, because generally it seems like the more you help, the more we get back, right? So that was my year, the general gist of my 2015 on the whole. Major themes were learning, experimentation, and helpfulness. And I think about on the whole where I was 1 year ago compared to where I am today, moving into the next year. I'm more organized, I'm wiser, I'm poorer but on a greater financial projection. I'm more focused, I'm clearer, I have better goals. A year ago I wasn't nearly as helpful, not experimenting so much, just repeating the same things, not learning from my experiments as much, viewing them as mistakes rather as one-offs, opportunities for learning, and I hadn't learned nearly as much. So 2015 is a great year for me. Write yours down on paper, store it on the internet, in your Google Docs or Evernote, whatever, so that you can look back to it in 1 year, 2016. You don't have to share it, but you'll really find this useful in wrapping up the year. It's a good thing to do every year. This is my first time posting them on video, but it's something I've been doing, something I suspect I'll be doing as long as I'm alive, or will try to do as long as I'm alive. So we'll be back with the next video with my 2016 goals, plans, projections, preview, what 2016 is going to be about, how I'm going to set the tone, what the major themes are going to be. That way when 2017 comes around, I'll have this video to hold myself accountable and say, did I live the year up to these standards? So the higher I set my standards, the harder I'm going to have to work. The less it's going to be about keeping resolutions, the more it's going to be about meeting goals, meeting deadlines, and so on and so forth. So really fun stuff, really exciting. You can also share yours in the comments. You don't have to, because this tends to be pretty personal stuff, but I hope you found this helpful and useful. Maybe you learned from it, and you're thinking of experiments you could do, turn mistakes into experiments, and so on. And I'll see you in the next video, and then I'll see you in the next year's video, and I think it'll be pretty amazing to see what happens. So take care. Much love.